Yo, what is going on, Brick Squad? Welcome back to another video. I apologize for taking this substantial break this week. A lot of you know I was not feeling too great, but now we are back in the swing of things, which is awesome. We got a fun weekend of content coming out for you guys, which I cannot be more excited about. But today, we're going to be taking a look at my LEGO Star Wars 2019 minifigure collection. Now, this is going to be a total of 316 minifigures. I do have a couple of droids that I did not include because I don't really think of them as minifigures, to be honest with you. But this is basically going to be the culmination of a little under 2 years of collecting. I also do apologize for the rainbow base plates. All my grays are being used currently in Kessel. As you guys can see, we are nearing the end of my Kessel series. If you don't really know what that is, definitely go ahead and consider checking out my Building Kessel videos. Before you go ahead and get started, guys, make sure you all smash that like button down below. And of course, if you guys are brand new to the channel, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button. Now, the very first initial wave, or I guess a row of minifigures, are all going to be my named minifigures, not necessarily split up into evil and good guys and heroes. I did try my best to set them up in terms of trilogy. So over here, we're going to have all the prequel trilogy unique named heroes. Here we're going to have all the original trilogy, and then we're going to have all the sequel trilogy. So starting with the prequels, because in numeric order, number 1 starts in the beginning. So if here on the right, we do have Darth Maul from the Phantom Menace set. I believe this was the Duel on Naboo set. To the left here, we have Mace Windu from the General Grievous speeder bike, the most recent rendition of it. Then we have the young Obi-Wan and also young Qui-Gon, again from that same set, the Phantom Menace Duel on Naboo set. Here in the middle, we have Jedi Bob leading the entire prequel named army. Honestly, you could just say Jedi Bob was leading the entire minifigure collection. A really nice fan of the channel actually lent this to me at Virginia, and I unfortunately did not see him to give it back to him. So if that is yours, I will be bringing it this year, so definitely remind me to give that back to you. But I'm happy that he is now in the army. Moving to the left here, we have Yoda. I mean, Yoda could be interchangeably placed between either, you know, honestly, all of them, right? Prequel, original, and sequels. I ended up putting Yoda here because I did want to fill this space with as much as I possibly could. And then the very last guy we have here is going to be the General Grievous minifigure, again from the General Grievous speeder bike set, or whatever you want to call that. Moving towards the middle here, we're going to have all the original trilogy name minifigures. Starting on the right here, we're going to have Han Solos. We're going to have 3 different Han Solo variants. One of them is going to be from Hoth. The next one is going to be from Episode 6, where he is handcuffed and under the control of Jabba after he was recently unfrozen from carbonite. And then here we just have a typical classic Episode 4 Han. Moving to the left here, we have the Lando Calrissian figure, which is from the A-Wing set, I believe, which was a part of the Rogue One wave of sets. Behind him, we have Admiral Raddus. And then behind him, we have the Episode 6 Luke Skywalker with his green lightsaber. That should be a pretty familiar sight to a lot of you. Up next here, we have Bodhi Rook from Rogue One. We have Chirrut Imwe from Rogue One. And in the back, we just have a random Twi'lek that I think I actually got while I was at Virginia this year. Kind of cool. Definitely like the minifigure there. Up in the front next row, we have Baze Malbus, also from Rogue One, which you guys should definitely know. And then back here, we have, I forget his name. I know he is a named minifigure. Honestly, I think it's something that starts with a P. I'm not exactly sure. So if any of you guys know that, definitely go and comment down below. And then behind him, we have the IG-88 Assassin Droid from the Bounty Hunter Speeder Battle Pack. Staying within the Rogue One era, we are going to have a couple more Rogue One figures. We have Cassian Andor, we have Jyn Erso in 2 different forms. We have one from her Jedha outfit, and then one from her Scarif outfit, and then another Bodhi Rook minifigure, which I honestly don't know how I got 2, but I did have 2. And then moving towards the more classic original trilogy minifigures, and then from we have Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker from his Episode 4 gear. In the back here, we have Greedo. We have an old Obi-Wan from Episode 4. We have Boba Fett. Next to him, we have Admiral Veers himself, which is a really awesome minifigure. I'm actually really happy to actually have that. Then moving to the left here, we have all of the sequel named minifigures. So right here, we're going to have 2 Finns. I'm not too sure why I have 2 variants of him, but then we're going to have the Kylo Ren variant. We're going to have General Hux, Captain Phasma, Rose Tico in her First Order outfit when they sneak upon the Supremacy. We're going to have the older Leia from Episode 7, I believe, that was from the actual Resistance transport pod. We're also going to have Finn in his First Order gear, again, when they sneak onto the Supremacy. We have Admiral Emmett right there from Crate, which I'm sure you guys know. We have the older Luke Skywalker from the Octo set. We have the Rey from the Octo set. We also have the Rey from the ATM 6 set. Then over here, we have 2 of the C-3POs. We have 2 of the Poe Damerons, one in his speeder outfit and the other one is not. And the very last group of minifigures we have here are going to be from the UCS Falcon set. So obviously, we do have the sequel versions with the older Han Solo, the Rey, and then the Finn. And then we do have the Leia and Han with their breathable masks, which is super cool. And of course, you can't forget about your boys, the Porgs, BB-8 and Santa BB-8. So that kind of wraps up all of the named people that I have in my collection, and then let's go ahead and get started with the bulk of it, the armies themselves. So I'll work with the rebels first. So in here we do have 2 sections, each devoted to different areas. We have the rebel faction here, a separate line, and then we have the resistance. Overall, not too many figures of each one. So coincidentally, I actually have 48 of both the rebels and the resistance troopers, but there really are no sort of official ranks or soldier variants. I mean, the only ones that are kind of unique, we're gonna have 6 of the old classic Endor rebel troopers right here, which is awesome. And throughout the Rebels over here, you'll see a combination of figures from both the Rebel Trooper Battle Pack and then the Battlefront Battle Pack as well. So you'll see a couple of awesome figures, which I'm really happy to have in the collection, which is super dope. And of course, you guys can see a couple of different species, not just the humans for the Rebels. In the back right corner, we do have some awesome pilots from the Resistance Bomber. No, Finch Tallow is not here. I think I bought this set when it initially first came out, so I do not have that figure. That's kind of going to make up the bulk of the Rebel army. Obviously, you guys can see that I have much more of other troopers, but the Rebels are supposed to be small, force-based insurgents, so I'm definitely comfortable with the amount of figures that I have for the Rebel army. Now moving towards the Resistance, a much recent troop addition that you guys have definitely remembered from Crate. Again, we have around 48 of the Resistance troopers, which is awesome. A little bit more uniform, definitely, because you can see all the masks, and they kind of have some sort of, I guess, method to what they're wearing, whereas the Rebels kind of just, they're Rebels, if you look at it, right? They kind of have their own sort of gear. Whereas the Resistance, at least to me, it looks a little bit more formal, right? You have some designated officers, and you have what obviously is the kind of ground troops and the generic stuff like that. But again, we have 48 and 48 of both the Rebels and the Resistance. Now moving to the back here, we have some 501st Troopers. I do not have any sort of massive collection with the 501st Troopers. In the front, we do have a CAC Rex, we have a CAC Oppo, and I believe we have just a generic 501st CAC Trooper right there. And then the other 7 behind it, and to the side of it, are actually going to be ones from Lego that I was able to purchase off my friend Blaine for a really good price. So I'm happy that I have at least some 501st to satisfy me while Lego is currently producing their 501st Battle Pack. Wink, wink, Lego, if you're watching. Moving towards the back here, we have one of my favorite squads of all time. We have Director Krennic and his squad of elite Death Troopers here. So basically, obviously, we have the Krennic. And I actually did make some changes. I did put him in the younger version, so that's why he's actually wearing his black hat. If you remember in the beginning of Rogue One, it was a younger Orson Krennic, and he had the hat on, and I just like that feeling better, so I definitely went for that. And then obviously we have 3, and then 3 of the Special Death Troopers with the pauldrons on the side. So that kind of wraps up this side of the base plate. Let's move over towards the middle, which is definitely the bulk of my quantity. So here you guys will see this is mostly Imperial era stuff. So let's starting out with the Death Troopers. In total, we have 36 of them. And you guys know that I'm in love with these Death Troopers. These are all the guys from the battle packs, though. These are not the figures from the Krennic shuttle. Those are significantly more expensive. So I did get the majority of these with all the battle packs that I do have. Now, it also is worth mentioning that I actually have a crazy amount of sealed battle packs in which I could probably at least double this army size. So just keep that in mind. I do have quite a bit of battle packs that I still have to unbox. But to start off this middle area, we do have 36 of the Death Troopers from the Imperial Patrol Battle Pack. Moving to the left here, and by far the largest quantity of any minifigure that I own is going to be the Stormtroopers from that very same battle pack. Now, theoretically, you would think that I have equal amounts of Death Troopers and Stormtroopers, but I believe I did order some Stormtroopers as time went on. So in total, there are 52 Stormtroopers here, which is definitely quite a substantial number. It's nothing crazy. Like, if you look at it, it definitely looks super cool to have all these minifigures and Stormtroopers lined up. Like I said, this is by far the largest bulk of my collection in terms of however primary minifigures I have of a certain type. Moving towards the back here, we're actually going to have quite a few of the Jetpack Troopers. These were the guys, I believe, in the Galactic Assault Battle Pack, if I'm not mistaken. In total, I have 24 of these troopers. Many of them are actually bought from my good friend Mark, or John Cena, as a lot of you may know him. So great additions to my collection there. Moving towards the back corner, you guys will see we have some Imperial hover tank pilots, and in the very middle, we will have one of the Shock Stormtroopers with the red printing, which is honestly one of my favorite minifigures of all time. I do hope that they bring that back, or at least I can get my hands on a few more of them, which is definitely super cool. Moving towards the back here, we're going to have a few minifigures. We're going to have Inferno Squad on the back left. We have Iden Versio, and then all of her 3 members. Moving to the right, we just have a generic Imperial officer. We have 3 of the Shadow Stormtroopers, which is super cool. Next, we have one of the Radar Technicians, and then an Imperial pilot right there. And then moving towards the back here, we're going to have a couple more special figures. We have a Sand Trooper, we have a Tan Officer, we have the Mimban Trooper, and then the AT-AT driver himself from the 75024 set, I think, or 75204, one of those numbers. And then the very back here, we have the plethora of Kessel minifigures that I have for, obviously, the Kessel Mock. And then left here, we do have 2 of the range troopers from the Imperial Convoy X train. And then we do have only 1 of the newer molds for the new Sand Troopers in terms of the Imperial Army. So overall, this is the whole entire section for the Imperial Army. And then also one thing I did forget to mention for the Imperial Army, we have 2 of the Scarif Captains and 7 of the OG Scarif Troopers, I believe from the Battle on Scarif Lego set from Rogue One, which is super cool. Moving on to the First Order minifigs we have here, what I'm most proud of in this collection definitely has to be the Snowtroopers. I use a lot of them on Kessel, as a lot of you guys know. In total, we have 24 of the Snowtroopers, and that is also not including the 1 Commander Snowtrooper that I have, which is definitely my favorite First Order minifigure, I think, in terms of like generic army figs. Moving to the left, we do have a whole row of some First Order Flame Troopers. We have, I believe, about 8 or 9 of them right here, which is cool. In terms of the generic First Order Stormtroopers, we have 44 total. Some of them are going to be the guys with the bandoliers on their printing, and others are going to be the standard First Order Troopers that you see. Moving towards the back for the Specialty Troopers, a couple of things. Number 1, we're going to have 4 of the First Order Specialist Troopers that you guys saw in The Last Jedi. Behind them, you should see 2 of the ATM-6 First Order Drivers. We have 3 of the Praetorian Guards from the recent Battle Pack. Then we have some First Order Crewmen, some pretty boring minifigures. And then in the back, we have 14 of the Blue Officers from Battlefront 2. And then very lastly, moving towards the back, not staying in the theme of First Order by any means, we have 2 of the Tatooine Tusken Raider minifigures. And then we have a plethora of the Solo minifigures. We got Tobias Beckett. We got Lando, Chewbacca, Quay Tulsite, Han Solo Mode Trooper version. Then we have Kira and, of course, Tobias Beckett. So that is going to kind of actually wrap up this collection. I'm not going to lie, it's super cool to see all these minifigures laid out. It was definitely fun to get an inventory of what I've been doing recently with all these minifigures. Guys, I really do hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I apologize for being absent this week, but we are going to have a fun weekend of content, so I hope you guys all enjoyed. And, of course, if you did, go ahead and smash the like button down below. And let me know what you guys think of this army. Is it big? Is it small? Do you think I should try to maybe get some more figures for this army? Which, of course, I will anyways. Anyways, guys, as we wrap it up, hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you later. Peace.